Welcome to another session of 6 monthly planning. In the earlier sessions of 6 monthly planning, we had learned how to do our own 6 months planning for the months starting from October up to the month of March and from the month of April up to September. Now, apart from that, we had also learned if you have a newcomer coming under you, how do you plan for that newcomer? And finally, how do we approve of a 6 monthly plan which has been sent to us for approval? Today we go one step ahead. In that one step ahead, we will go now to the review section, and in the review section, go into the 6 monthly planning summary review. This very clearly tells us that this particular session is meant for all those people who would be reviewing the 6 monthly plan. So let's look at the 6 monthly plan review. The screen, if you look at it here, is the same that we have used for SMP. Here in front of us is the 6 monthly planning summary review. Let's look at the option for the candidate whom we would like to review. And for an example, I'm taking on Mr. Akash Das's case. So this is Akash Das. I get the details for him. But before I get the details, there are a couple of things that we should know. We have BDM and upward. That means I can see all those BDM and upwards who report into Mr. Akash Das. Then we have managers and upwards. We have HOLs and upwards. And if I want to see a total summary, I can see the summary choosing the option summary over here. So let's choose the first one. After I give the name, I need to click on the option mentioned here. I have clicked on BDM and upwards, and then I say get detail. When I say get detail, I should be able to now see in a short while all the BDM and upwards who are reporting into Mr. Akash Das. As you can see here, we have a screen which is full of information of the people who are reporting into Mr. Akash Das, also showing the hierarchy of the people who are working under him. So let's quickly look at the hierarchy, understand that first, and then move on to the rest of the report. If you look at it here, Priyanka Kumari is a manager who is working in Delhi Corporate. Under her, there are two people, that is Puneet Rawat and Sanjay Gupta. So if you look at it here, you have the information or the details or the numbers which are self Puneet, self Sanjay, and self for the manager Priyanka Kumari. So this total in brown that you see is the team total for Priyanka Kumari. And below that, when you add on her figure also of 75, the blue total for manager Priyanka Kumari shows the total for everybody including Priyanka's self itself. Now if we go one step below, there is another person who is the HOL, that is Mr. Shailesh Kumar. And Mr. Shailesh Kumar is the reporting manager for Priyanka Kumari. Now here if you see, Amit Kant happens to be one frontliner who is working directly under Mr. Shailesh Kumar, not under Priyanka Kumari. So the total for, or the self for Amit Kumar is mentioned under here. If you can see it, self 110 for October total calls. Shailesh Kumar has his own self. The total for Shailesh Kumar in brown for team is the total for Priyanka Kumari, who is reporting into Shailesh, is the total for Amit Kant, and that is it. And then you have the total in blue, which includes the total for the team plus his own self of 40. This goes on till we reach the absolute end. If you look at it right at the end, you have Mr. Akash Das. Now in Akash Das' team also you will see Mr. Akash Das has given his self totals over here. This is the team total, and this is the team total plus his self total. Now that we understand this particular hierarchy, let me take you through the report in itself. Let's go back right onto the top. Now here if you look at it, I would like to see what are the totals for calls. The total of the calls that were planned by each one of the individuals or by you for your newcomer are shown here. So you have all the totals from October to March. Then you have the total presentations which are mentioned after this. That is again from October to the month of March. You have the totals for MOP number next to the MOP number, you have the MOP values. Similarly, as we have seen, starting from the month of October going up to the month of March, then you have the October conversion of numbers and conversion of MOP values, which will go on till the month of March. FPG number, FPG value, which goes on from October to November, December, January, February and March. Then you have the conversion of FPG number, conversion FPG value, which again similarly moves on. You have the total conversion numbers and the total conversion values, the drop numbers, the drop values as you can see here. So drop number to drop value up to the month of March. The average calls starting from the month of October going up to the month of March. Now if you look at this, when I'm saying from the month of October to the month of March, I am sure each one of you can see that there is a trend visible in front of you. When you look at the average figures, when you look at the average numbers, you're able to see whether a person is moving up the curve or the person is moving down the curve. You can see if any kind of corrective measure is to be taken. Please also note that if a person is doing consistently well, you can study the case of that person, see what are the best practices that this person is using and share those best practices to improve the values of your team, the rest of the team or people who are not doing so well. Just as we've got average for calls, we also have average for presentations. So the number of presentations that person is going to do, the average for that is also present here. Very importantly, we have two figures here. One is the conversion percentage which is given to you and the conversion value that is given to you. So you have the conversion percentage, you have the conversion value for MOP for all the months that we have discussed in the 6 months, which again will be very helpful in giving you a trend. And similarly, you will also have the conversion values for FPG and the conversion number for FPG. So if you look at it here, conversion, October conversion FPG number, October conversion FPG value will go on till the month of March here. Now let's assume that I would like to take or find out more details about a particular person, specific person. So you can see, let's say Amit Kant, I would like to see his details. So all I need to do is I need to get into view details and the slide for Amit Kant will open up. Now you have already been through this while we were doing the entry or while you were creating the milestones for the 6 months for your newcomer. So now I have this in front of me. I can review this by going step by step, pressing the next button and seeing what is the next that comes in. Each one of them that we had seen earlier for call planning, the call summary is available to me in front of me. I can press the back button whenever I want to go back. At this stage, it will make a lot of sense to read through the data, to see what are the trends that this person has created for himself while planning, and then match this all to see whether you would like to get some correction done here. So next, we go from MOP, we go to closed customer. The call summary is again in front of you. From closed customer, we go to the closed customer in my territory. Since this person did not have any closed customer in the territory, of course, this is left blank. Then we move on from closed customer in my territory to CPS Bank for the month of October. To March, and as you can see here, the CPS Bank details are all mentioned here. You can keep looking at whether they were suspecting data that was prospect not qualified, or as we had seen earlier, the self-dropped cases were also there. Now let's move on to the next. When we press next, we get to see the assigned customers who were assigned to us. In this case, there were none. And we move to the next, we will be able to see a complete summary. Now this summary in front of me helps me, as in case of any other report, to match this with the bench. These are the benchmark figures benchmark these with the actual figures that the person has done for the given month or for the given months, that is from month of October to March. So when you keep benchmarking, you will be able to see how close is this person according to the goal that the person had set. How much of help is required basis the new trend which will come out in the actuals report. When we move back from here, we come into the presentation planner. From the presentation planner, exactly the same way it will be for presentation plan for the closed customers. Presentation plans will be there for the category wise. So product category wise, if you recall, we had filled in this data. I'll be able to see category wise, group 1, group 2, accordingly we'll be able to work it out. Please remember here you are not entering the data, you are just checking the information that the person had entered to see if you need to do any kind of a review on this. Now you have the conversion plan in front of you. After you've seen the complete conversion plan which is there in the summary below, you can move on further. When you press next, you come to the complete summary. This is a very, very helpful page because this shows you at a glance all the calls that are planned, presentations that are planned for the given products, and how the person was assuming his conversion rate would be. This is in front of you. You can see the complete report by going up and down where required. When you exit from this, as you can see, I have exited from here. Let it come back. It will come back to your main screen. Now let's go back to our review. Go back to our 6-month planning and choose once again. For example's sake, we'll take Akash sir's data for BDM and upwards since I was on that screen, and here I am back again. Remember, for each one of the individuals that I am reviewing, this is the benchmark that the person had set for himself. You will need to keep your actual reports in front of you to be able to compare the two to see whether the person is actually in accordance with what he had planned or is not doing as much as he had planned to do or is doing way better. I can also move from here into the manager and upwards plan. So let's look at that once. So I say manager and upwards. It is the same information, the same details that you see here, but now not in so many different designations, but only for managers and upwards. So let's look at this. Give it a moment to get all the details. And what you have in front of you would be, if you look at it, the employee details, manager, HOL and RMs. Any person who now reports into Akash sir will be seen in here. Please remember, if your database is big, it will take a little extra time to fetch the data. So here if you can see, we had seen earlier all the people who were reporting into Priyanka Kumari. We had one person reporting separately into the HOL, that is Shailesh ji. But now we see the details of the manager, we see the detail of the HOL. These are the totals for their teams. Right? And finally, you will see all the HOLs reporting into Mr. Amar Rana, who is the RM for all the people above him. You go further down and you will see here Mr. Badrinath, where all these people up to the earlier RM, that is Mr. Amar Rana, all these people report into Mr. Badrinath. And then finally, you have people reporting into Mr. Akash, that is the 3 or 4 HOLs. Apart from those we had seen just now, Mr. Amit Raj, Kashmir Singh, Gopal Mishra and Anurag Datta, all reporting into Mr. Akash Das. You will get the same details when you move on to the side. The same details that we had discussed just now. One by one you can look at all these details in the form of a summary. If you would like to see details of any one individual, please remember that you will need to go back to the BDM and upwards to get the detail of that one individual person. Now let's go to the next, where we are talking HOL upwards. Here, Akash ji could see a bird's eye view of all the people who are HOL and upwards in his team. So he says HOL and upwards, he presses get details, and this is what he gets to see. Remember, in the meantime, that ever you want to work on this data, you can also export the data using the export to Excel, and then do whatever you would like. Maybe you would like to play and make certain reports here. You could make your own customized reports. Now, the data for HOL and upwards is there in front of me. If you look at it, this is only HOLs and their RMs, and the HOLs who are reporting directly into the AVP, that is Mr. Akash Das. The rest of the data remaining the same. That means, be it total calls, total presentations, MOP number, or it could be MOP value, it could be, here if you see, FPG number, FPG value, this data does not change, it remains the same. But now it is only for all the HOLs and above under Akash Ji. So here, this is how it is. Let's go on to one more thing. Now if I want to see the summary of my complete team, I will press summary and I will press detail. Of course, since the data is humongous, it will take a little while for the entire data to come under and be seen here. So let's give it 1 minute to collect all the information. So it's not even taken a minute. Here you have all the details of HOL and above, showing you the designation, who are they reporting into, the location where they are, and from here onwards, we have another advantage of being able to see how many people in what level, at what level are reporting into the concerned person. So if I look at Shailesh Kumar, I have 3 frontliners, 1 manager reporting into him. But if I look into Mr. Amar Rana here, so let's pull this down a little to see this. Mr. Amar Rana, he has in total 14 FLs reporting into him, directly or indirectly. He has 5 managers reporting into him. He has 3 HOLs reporting into him. Now let's take the case of Mr. Akash Das. This shows that he has in his team 50 frontliners, 14 managers, 10 HOLs reporting into him, and because he's the AVP handling this team, he also has 2 RMs reporting into him. Now, had this shown somebody much senior, this would have shown the hierarchy in the same manner, showing the number of designations. All designations of sales are mentioned here. Frontliner, manager, HOL, ARM, RM, DGM, GM, AVP, VP, President. So all the designations are mentioned over here, and each person can see people below him easily mentioned over here. Apart from this, if you want, and of course because this is what you are here for, you're looking at all the summary for your HOLs and above right in front of you in a bird's eye view. This will show you the plan that is there. You can compare it with the trends that are going on actually and take decisions according to the trends that are visible. Of course, this will help you keep your team within the goals that they have set, to achieve the goals that they have set, and meet targets as they have set for themselves for the 6 months. So similarly, you have calls. I can make this shorter and get a better view. So this is how I will do it. So I have up to March. Then I go up to presentations the same way. And we'll keep moving from presentation to MOP numbers and values, from MOP number values to conversions. From conversions, I will move on to FPG number and values. From FPG number and values, I'll move on to conversions of FPG numbers and values, and so on and so forth. So total conversions. I always have the opportunity to export all this data into Excel and maybe hide certain fields to be able to see some of the fields to make it a printable form. So let's look at this. Drop numbers are all there. This is basically a summary of all the people, of all the data that you have seen. However, it is only for HOLs and above. As I said to you earlier, if you would like to see the detail of any one person, then you will need to go to BDM and upwards, click that, get the details, go right up to the end where you've seen view details and see. So I'll just show you that once again in a minute's time. So here you have November, MOP conversion, which goes on, FPG conversion, and then you will start seeing the percentage conversions after this. So you have here, up to the FPG conversions. So let's take a quick glimpse back here. I want to see the details for, let's say, Anurag ji. So Anurag Datta, I want to see all the details for Anurag Datta. So what I will do is, here is Anurag Datta's details, who's an HOL. I'll go to BDM and upwards. I will get the detail here. So it will quickly fetch all the data for me. But mind you, the data that I will get is for everybody. And now let's see where Anurag ji is. So I will scroll down till I come to Mr. Anurag Datta. So if I want to see the details for Mr. Anurag Datta here, what I will do is I will scroll sideways. So this is a fixed column. It makes life so much more easier for us. And I will view the details for Mr. Anurag Datta. Since he is the HOL, I would like to see for him. Here is the detail. Here. These are his self details that you can get to see. So I'm exiting out of it here. And I'm sure you will make the complete, you'll use this complete tool to help you do your planning better, to help you do your reviewing better. Because when you speak to somebody, when you coach somebody, when you mentor somebody, talking arbitrary or saying you have not done well will not help. What will help is that if you would be able to talk to that person, keeping his plan in front of you and keeping the actual values in front of you. So happy reporting, happy reviewing, and happy selling.